Hello, common people. This is a Common Guy Reviews, and I'm your lovely host, Pepsi. You know that I love bad movies. Not necessarily bad, but good bad. Like those B-side movies you often see, like Sharknado and stuff. Those movies are pretty close to my heart, because I just like them. I like to watch them, I like to laugh at them. Like every Saturday we have this thing that we go and we watch movies. Sometimes we watch good movies that we go and check in the EMBD and check that yeah, it's good. People have given this good reviews. It's Rotten Tomatoes good, given a high score. Well, it's gonna be epic. But sometimes you find a jewel. Sometimes you find something so bad that it's actually good. So you'll watch it and it becomes such a running joke that you just throw off with your friends that you have watched the movie with, and they know what you're talking about. Because those are the bad movies. That is the glory of the good bad movies, bad good movies. And today's movie that I want to talk about, we actually watched this Saturday. Movie that I was not expecting to be so funny that it actually is. The movie is called The Widow's Point. This movie is starred by the gentleman called Craig Sheffer, the same guy who acts the leading role in a Hellraiser Inferno, starring as and acting as Detective Joseph Thorne. I don't know, I haven't watched the Hellraiser Inferno. I have watched like the Hellraiser 1, 2, 3 and 4 when it becomes so comedically funny, like Nightmare on the Elm Street. Those are the one movie series, Hellraiser and Night of the Elm Street, that I really love, because it starts as a really serious horror show and horror movie, but when it goes beyond, so it gets sequels, it starts to actually become more funny than creepy or scary. And that's what makes them so fun. Because the one guy like Freddy Krueger, who was this really intimidating man in his original movies, 1 and 2 or 3, now becomes a little more comedical. And in Hellraiser, it's not necessarily becomes more funnier or get at anything, but when in the one movies, was it like third or fourth movies, when there becomes the other demons in the world and they start to fight each other, because who gets to kill the humans and stuff. It is kind of funny, it is kind of comedical, it is something more than just the movie itself. It breaks the premise of the movie, it breaks the construction of the movie. When it first was this, they had this cube that they tamper with, and those demons come from hell and torture you to death, and suddenly there are other demons and now they're fighting amongst each other for some reason. It is funny. I cannot do nothing but chuckle a little. So, in The Widow's Point, Craig Sheffer acted a guy named Thomas Livingston, a book writer who wants to stay a couple nights in a haunted lighthouse. The premise is good. The thing is good that the whole thing starts to go shit and he starts to go a little crazy because the ghosts and stuff are tampering with the universe and stuff, so it becomes funny. And why it becomes funny? Because Craig Sheffer just slams you with such an overacting that it's just hilarious. There is amazing scenes in that when he just does his thing. Like this one.
Stop touching me.
Or makes a random noises. Or just something equally stupid. This is purely my opinion, but for some reason I thought that his acting and way he acted and was kinda resembled Jack Nicholson's role in Shining for some reason. Like he was hunched over, he was scrolling, he was doing funny faces and funny sounds. But in this movie it wasn't believable. It was more funny. It was like something like you see and you go like, oh wow, what the hell? Like why would he do that? Why would suddenly he would like overextend his word and put his tongue out and do some really silly thing? I don't really get it, but I don't need to get it. It is art. It is a movie. And this is a little spoiler for the end of the movie if you don't actually want to watch it yourself, or you want to watch it yourself, so don't listen to this. I'm telling a spoiler now. This movie is based on a book, and in the end of the movie there is this Cthulhu-like monster, like Lovecraftian monster, like old monster, old one, ancient being that comes over the sea to actually look and peep on the window or something. It is really weird, but at the same time it's kinda cool. And I'd hope that they made a really better job in this, or much better job in this movie, because the plot is good. And the thing that this movie would be amazing if it was only made well, but right now it's not made well, it's made pretty poorly. Like all the effects in the movie are like made by art students or something. There are these really obscure scenes where somebody pops out, and it looks like I could make that in my video editor for some reason. I know this movie only knows two kind of scares. One scare is when an actor stands still and there's something walking behind him and the music goes loud. And then there's a scene where camera shifts and looks behind the actor and there's somebody standing there. Those only two scenes are present, nothing else. And it happens a lot, like 6-7 times in a short burst, and then it stops. But yeah, this was my short video about this movie. I just wanted to tell you that I like this movie because it made me laugh. It really made me laugh. For a horror movie, I really laughed a lot. But this was a Common Guy Reviews. I suggest you watch this movie, and I am your lovely host, Pepsi. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.